Welcome to the Ages of Rock podcast with your hosts Bill Algie, Dennis Talbot, and Alan Tate. We are three guys who have one thing in common, a love of rock and roll. Our goal is to talk about all things rock. We hope you find this show intriguing, funny, and occasionally highly opinionated. Enjoy! Right. Welcome to the Ages of Rock podcast. This is episode number 166, and this week we have Julian Gill from KISS FAQ going to co-host with us. How are you doing, Julian?
Alan, thanks a lot, and it's good to see you guys again as always. So thanks for having me on the show, or back on the show.
Yeah. We need to have you on more often. You're a fun guy.
I don't know. That's to be determined.
Not the mushroom kind of fun guy either.
Like my last name's Algie. I'm the fun guy. Don't start with that.
All right. Well, before we get started, I must apologize because for the last 2 weeks, my dumb ass forgot to do shout-outs. So for episodes 163, 64, and 65, our Facebook shout-outs these weeks go to Brian Harris, David Cathy, Bill Elam, Steve Wright, Jay Skabluski, Rodney Dixon, and Kaylin Provo. And our Twitter shout-outs for those episodes are David Cathy, Jay Skabluski, I Love It Loud Podcast, Peter Cecere, Hairnet Radio, Stanley Lives For You, the letter U, Sonny Pooney, Save Rock and Metal, Stephen Michael, Sonny and Stephen of the Grown Up Rock Podcast, Anna Marie Pripe, Pripe, Miles Standish, Stephen Bryant, and Judy Chapman Carmi. As always, we thank you all for your tweets and retweets and shares and all of that good stuff. And we appreciate you coming back and listening to us be idiots every week.
Exactly.
There's a lot of awesome names there that I just recognize. So well done, gentlemen and ladies.
Yes,
there you go.
We love those guys and gals.
Yep.
I don't know why they love us, but we're not going to complain.
We got some good comments on the YouTube post as well this week. So
yeah,
appreciate that. I didn't have a chance to look the names up. I saw the one name, but I didn't write it down. I'm not that smart.
Jerry C.
Oh yeah, is that the
Jerry
guy
C. from?
I
believe he's from Fort Wayne.
Yes.
That's why he knew what he was talking about.
Yeah,
he's a Hoosier.
He gives us a shout out all the time on YouTube, and I'm too dumb to remember to go back and look at that one. So
now we know.
We need to put that one on my checklist. So Jerry C., there you go.
Cool.
There you go.
I believe Dennis went record shopping again this week.
Oh yeah, what'd you find this week, asshole?
All right, real quick. Nothing real good, but I did find there is a new vendor in our vendor mall, so I did get 2 from him. But anyway, ended up getting the Doobie Brothers, Taking It to the Streets. Nice album. Got it for, I believe, $5. So it was a good find. Spent a little bit more than I wanted to, but Styx Equinox I got for $10. But that's a great record, and it's in really good shape. And I love the guy. I love the people that put them in the plastic. That just saves me the time to have to do that. So that was good.
They're just jacking the price up on you. That would have only been like $3.
They see you pull into the parking lot.
Little River Band's greatest hits.
I fucking love that release, man.
I love this. And it's $7. Great shape, though. This thing we had this on 8-track when we were in college. And you know what? There was a little bit of...
Damn, you're old.
But the whole point was
really?
This was the 8-track stayed in the bedroom and it was used a lot. A little bit of love music, you know what I'm saying?
Oh.
He's banging to Happy Anniversary, not realizing that it's a fucking breakup song.
A little reminiscent. No, anyway. I had this 8-track when I was a kid, and so I bought this for $5. And I know you guys are going to hate me and shoot me, but Bay City Roller's greatest hits.
Hey, there ain't nothing wrong with that.
No one better bust your butt for that.
I had this 8-track, and there's some fucking great songs on there, dude.
I'll not tell Lucy how that. She's pissed. I picked
Rock
that up.
and Roll Love Letter. I love that song.
Next time, I put it back.
It's a cutout, but it's a great shape. Yep, $5. So anyway, I have that replaced for my 8-tracks. So one other thing I have real quick. Concert week is May 1st through 7th.
Starts at 9 a.m.
Right, 1st through 7th. So anybody in Evansville who wants to go see the Rob Zombie / Marilyn Manson show, tickets are $20, including fees.
I got that Live Nation email earlier today.
I'd go if it was free.
Well, $20 with no fees. I think I might go to this.
Nope, I didn't say $20 with no fees. I said free. Yeah. You said fees. I said free.
You're not going to get a free one out of this, but you know what? For $20, I might go see that. I would kind of like to. I'm just curious. Never seen either. Don't know if I can stay the whole time, but I might spend $20 just to check it out. So,
well, for $20, I mean, I've seen. I mean, I've mentioned it before. I've seen Zombie before, but I really would like to see Manson. So yeah,
I would
can't go wrong for $20, even if you only stick around
on
for
a sober night. May not catch them on a sober night. I don't know what's going to happen, but it's you take your pick and you take your chance and go. So
I've seen shitty bands before. Wouldn't be nothing new.
So, I mean, with Ticketmaster, usually here their fees are $20 or more anyway. I figure if I get a $20 ticket, I'm just going to do it. So I'll probably go to that. Anyway,
that's probably another way for them to say, "Man, these tickets are not selling."
Actually, KISS is included in that. Do you know that?
Oh yeah.
Actually,
yeah.
Tom Morello and Buck Cherry are also included in Old National Center in Indianapolis, and the Whitewater Park has Shinedown, Bad Flowers, Skillet, Seven Dust, and then Papa Roach, Asking Alexandria, and Bad Wolves, and then Ruoff has Slayer, Lamb of God, Cannibal Corpse, and I didn't get that.
You can quit reading anytime. You know what I mean?
Breaking Benjamin, Chevelle, and 3 Days Grace.
Well, Bill, just because you don't like those bands,
that's not a bad one.
Our listeners actually do have taste in music.
And then the Knotfest, Slipknot, Volbeat, and Behemoth. That's also at the outdoor place. And then Korn and Alice in Chains. Those are all those $20 tickets. So there you go. If you're in Indianapolis or Evansville area, there you go. $20 tickets. All right, I'm done.
Is that okay? Bill, you got anything?
I don't think I'm afraid to say anything. I missed apparently Alan's whipping post tonight.
Okay. Go ahead. I'm in rare form today. I'm going to talk a little.
I don't think I have anything. I was going to talk about the tickets, but other than that, I got nothing.
Sweet.
Oh, I didn't know you were going to bring that up.
No, it's okay. It's fine.
Well, a few weeks back, Dennis asked our audience if they had any questions they'd like to ask, and a couple of weeks ago, we got a question from Ken in Kansas. Ken in Kansas wants to know, what replacement singer do you think should have gotten more love from their band and fans than they did? For example, Ripper Owen was he was a replacement for Rob Halford, but now he's all but forgotten. Julian, you go first.
Tony Martin, Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
Headless Cross, Eternal Idol. Fantastic freaking singer. And of course, I think he probably got a fair amount of love, but the band was so far down at that point that, it probably wouldn't have mattered who was singing for them. But I think a lot of Sabbath fans wouldn't mind him coming back now.
Fair enough. What about you, Dennis?
Well, that's a hard one. As much as I hated Van Hagar, but Sammy did.
I knew he was going to say that.
But no,
I'd have bet money.
No, but I do. But I love Sammy, and he did do. I mean, he tried his best to, unveil that ship that was sinking, and they had a bunch of good hits.
See, his problem was he was trying to unveil the ship with a shot glass with his Mas Tequila.
Well, but you got, Eddie on the other side drilling holes in the boat. He tried to fucking bail, and he's like, "Oh, fuck you," No, so yeah, it's but that's a hard question. I have to really think. I didn't see that question. I have to think about that one.
You did see that question.
Yeah, you saw it.
I just forgot about it. Anyway.
So I thought about John Corabi. I thought the Motley Crue.
John Corabi stole my answer.
Was a really good record, and then it just kind of fell apart after that. I mean, he's been in a lot of good bands, and Dead Daisies are just badass. So, I there's just a period of time there where he just kind of like he was floundering. It seemed like he was floundering around a little bit, but I think he's got a great voice and a great, I've seen interviews with him, heard interviews with him and stuff like that. Seems like a great guy. So that's somebody I thought never really probably got his props that he really truly deserves. So, and actually for a while that was the best Motley Crue record out there, because Motley Crue had some turds there for a couple of records. So that's mine. Sorry, Alan. Ha!
Oh, that's all right. Well, I mean, I was pretty much going to say the exact same thing you did. The music was great. If I understand correctly, a lot of Generation Swine was actually written by John Corabi, but they run him off and put Vince back on. Some of those songs don't sound like they should be Vince Neil songs, so I can see that.
No, because they have complete words.
Brutal.
And John still has a great voice. So there you go.
And he could sing.
Well,
Yeah, he could sing. He could actually sing. Yeah, he's not just spouting words.
I have to tell you, the funniest damn things I've watched lately have been YouTube videos with, Vince Neil and the half lyric thing. And have you seen the video, the YouTube video?
Whoever put that video
They actually
together
put
was
words up.
genius.
It's the words at the
think he's
bottom that
singing.
don't make sense. Oh my God, it is so damn fun. But it's
Yeah.
we've talked about that before when we saw him on the second night of that tour of the final tour or not the final tour. Is that what it was called?
Yeah, it was the end of the.
End
not
of
end of the road.
last
The
tour or
end of the
whatever.
road. No, wrong band.
No, it wasn't that. But whenever the final tour, I guess it was. And
Yeah. It was
Vince
bad.
Neil's up there running around the stage up there about to have a heart attack because he
Tough.
thought the buffet was part of the training.
Yeah.
You didn't realize he was supposed to share the buffet?
Yeah.
Those
No.
recordings, that's one time that YouTube worked out for me because those shows were so bad. I skipped the final Motley Crue tour. I couldn't handle going to see that, how bad he was singing. And then I got the DVD and saw how bad it was and felt bad for buying it. Dreadful. Absolutely horrible.
The only time I saw,
Ended up-
hold on a minute, Dennis. The only time that I ever saw Motley Crue, or the only time I ever planned to see Motley Crue, I should say, was when they did their first get together in '98, right after Tommy Lee got out of jail or whatever. And when I saw them, they were down here in a small theater, and it wasn't a good show. So I had no intention of ever seeing Motley Crue again. And then a friend of mine had bought him and his son tickets for Christmas, and then he ended up getting the flu, and his wife called and begged me to take their son to the show so that she didn't have to sit through that garbage. So I saw Motley Crue twice, actually.
We ended up with that one up there. It was the same deal, wasn't it, Bill? Because I got $20 tickets for that. Remember, you called me at my
Yeah.
parents.
Yep.
So that was the only save face of that whole fucking ordeal was I only paid $20 to go see a really shitty Motley Crue show. Actually, I paid $40 because I bought Kelly a ticket too. But hey, it was not good.
That's a shame. I've seen great Crue shows with,
I have too.
when they were touring with the Scorpions. I think it was '99 or something. Can't remember if it was Randy in the band. It's so long ago now. And I thought they were great on the tour with Kiss. I actually gave them the edge when we talked about that pairing as being slightly better than Kiss that night. So there you go. No complaints. And some of the times I've seen them at least.
I've seen him I saw him on the on the
You saw
Dr. Feel
Theater.
Good tour. I saw Theater Pain.
Yeah,
I
I saw
saw them open too. So that must have been Afflicts Could Kill, right? That'd be the first.
Shout at the Devil.
Or
They
Shout
were
at the
opening
Devil
for
would be opening.
Ozzy.
Yeah. It wasn't Ozzy then. So it was somebody else, but I saw him in Evansville.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was. I've seen them a bunch. I thought they were pretty good live. I didn't see the Girls tour, but
Who was it? Who opened for them at Robert Stadium? 'Cause I took my sister and my wife at girlfriend. Well, my
For
my
Theater of
girlfriend.
Pain?
Yeah. Who opened? Was it
that was
Crow?
a triple bill, I think.
Was it
that was-
Crows? No, that was.
Yeah, I
not
thought it was
Crows.
3 bands. It was 2 bands
Yeah,
ahead of them, but
okay.
I don't remember who they were. Was Girls School one of them? Was that show?
Yes,
have
I
been.
believe it was. It was Girls
and there was
School
somebody
something.
else.
And
Yeah.
yeah, I saw that one. Right.
Yep.
Well, thanks for that question, Ken in Kansas. It was obviously it was a good one. It sparked quite a discussion here.
Yes. Wow.
Motley Crue got some airtime.
Motley Crue got some airtime. Well, on that note, Julian, you've got a book that you're going to be selling at the upcoming KISS or God damn it, Indianapolis KISS Expo. You want to talk about it? Because obviously I can't talk today.
Yeah, it's that time of year again that the Indie Expos come around, and after many years of me not being there, I'm back again. So every time I go to an expo, I try and do a special printing of something, whether it's a repackaging, taking a page out of KISS's book of something that I've done previously with like new artwork or editions, or something completely new and different. This year, to celebrate the end of the road, they've just completed their first leg of the tour. So I thought, since we do a lot of tracking of the tour on the KISS FAQ and my own kissendoftheroad.com website, it would be a nice idea to package up all the set lists, all the reviews that we've been able to find from the newspapers, and some folks have sent them in for me. Other ones I've gotten from online editions or subscriptions to newspapers, box scores for what has been published. Also an interview with David Garibaldi that I conducted for the KISS FAQ podcast, and actually managed to transcribe myself, which is real torture. And so we've packaged it, or I always speak third person for some reason, but I've packaged it up as a limited edition, 7x10, KISS on tour. What is it? Indianapolis Expo 2019, End of the Road Leg 1. That's get Alan to say that. That'd be
Quite
fun.
a mouthful.
Yeah. It came out as 75 pages, just about everything that's currently known about the tour. We're still waiting on, I think, 11 or 12 of the box scores that hopefully will give us the full picture of it. Michael Cavaccini contributed something that he was given during his backstage experience, which is like a full production sheet that tells you like what the guys are doing behind the scenes for the band, the lighting, the effects, who's doing what, where. So I transcribed that into a spreadsheet to put it in there so people could kind of follow along with what the actual components of the tour or the production are actually called, like those big things that come down at the beginning of the show, the pods. Then there's all these other things. So it's all in the book. So everything, if you if you went to one of the shows during the tour, or your Alexander went to 25 of them, it's got everything basically about each one of the shows, along with some other production notes, when they use the Whistler rocket, when something screwed up, when Gene messed up a vocal. We always keep a track. That's KISS fans.
You could write a whole book just on Gene's fucked up lyrics.
Yeah, so it's all in there. So I'm looking forward to the Indie Expo. It's one of those few that I go to that I'm guaranteed to have a good time.
Great.
Cool.
Is this book going to be available if we don't go to the expo? Can you pick this up from your website, or is this just going to be an indie only?
Well, one of the important things to do with anything that's kind of like special is to keep it limited edition. I don't know if anyone can see on the back of this. Let's see, get in there. Left a space. Each one's going to be individually numbered. Only 100 copies are being printed. No extras. I do expect there to be extras after the expo. As anyone who goes to the Indie Expo knows, you're going there to see the guests, the real guests, the Tommy Thayers, the Bruces, the John Corabi, who you just mentioned earlier. So there'll be photographic options for them. And if anyone has any, like $10 left, that's what this is going to cost. It's just $10, But I do expect there to be leftovers, which I will make available through my website after the fact, though I'll have to add postage onto it.
Okay. I'm going to actually try to get up there on Saturday. I think Bill is too. Saturday.
Yeah, I think we're going to try to go up Saturday for a little bit.
Yeah, I'm going to get if it's nice weather, get the convertible out and just take a little drive and go up there and hang out.
I'm just hoping it's not as hot as last year.
Yeah, it was not good.
It was miserable last year.
It was
humid.
But Julian had a pretty good bartender.
I had three fantastic bartenders, if I recall. You guys had a cooler. I had the beer, and by the end of the afternoon, I was 3 sheets to the wind.
Everybody felt pretty
Hey, Corey.
It's called teamwork. It's all about teamwork, is what it is.
Yeah,
so I guess you're going to be up there, and then I know we talked to Joe Polo last week, or he was on our show for last week. And he's going to be up there, I guess, with Sonny. They're going to have a thing. We're not going to be up there this time around. we're gonna wait, but we are gonna do the Rockin' Pod, which you're gonna be in for the Rockin' Pod, right?
You better believe it.
All right.
I wouldn't miss that one for the world either. I mean,
This
done
is
all
good.
3 years, and with some of the folks we met last year who were then just starting out, and
Yes.
I think you mentioned is it Peter?
Yeah,
Peter Cicere.
Cicere, or I always butcher his name, but he was just starting out, and now he's got a year under his belt. It'd be good to see him again. Oh, see you guys. See. I hope everyone who's been going is back, because it's been such a great experience, and it's been great for the cross pollination of getting out and doing other kinds of topics with people, and also learning a lot, which is more important.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, it's been a blast. That's for sure.
I do like the venue that they're going to be having it at. I've actually stayed at the hotel. It's very, very nice. It's out by the airport, and they got a nice big center, got a great bar. You don't have to go around looking for stuff. I mean, it's actually, everything's there. It's good, and I'm looking forward to seeing it. And then we're going to have the residency. It's going to be playing that Friday evening too, and that's a show within itself right there.
Yeah, that's badass.
It is probably the most badass show you'll see. Other than KISS,
that is, of course, the rock and roll residency that you're referring to, right?
Yes.
Because I've seen those guys with
And
Gene,
that's the
and
with
they
2 E's.
Yeah.
Well, that's the only way to
And
spell
I
it.
tell you what, they just ooze talent, not only with themselves, but the people that they bring with them. And I'm sure they're going to have some of the people from the expo that are going to be joining in. So it's going to be a show we've seen them once, and we just walked around for like days going, that was the best show I've seen all year. It was
one of the best shows ever, actually.
Yeah,
it was pretty damn good.
It was really good. I
Yeah,
cried.
nice
And of course, mine and Dennis's favorite part of that whole show was needing the guy that said he needed 256 milliseconds of delay on his vocal. So, everybody knows that Dennis and I are working on a music project together, and that's always the first thing I say as soon as I hook my microphone up at practice.
We do that tomorrow night?
Yeah. Oh, fuck yeah, I'm going to do that tomorrow
I
night.
need 250 milliseconds of echo, please. And, he needed it, and it worked it out, and he fucking tore it up. So it's,
Well, when you've been working as long as he has, you know what you need.
Exactly. But yeah, it's gonna be it's gonna be a fun summer. I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be some good times. Like I said, we hope to get up there to the Indie Expo. It's looking to be it's rounding out to be a pretty good. Actually, the guys from the residency are going to be up there as the Ankh. Is that what it is? They're going to be.
I don't know, I've seen that name, but I don't know more. I don't know much more about it than
I think they're going to do some KISS songs, but it's basically Philip and Jeremy and Ryan. I don't know who's going to be drumming with them, but they're going to basically do a bunch of KISS tunes, which they just will tear up completely.
Oh, they slay them every time.
I mean, it's just unbelievable.
Those guys are great musicians. They're great people, and for our generation of rock, they just do it great honor. They do. I love the Hagar stuff. The original Sammy Hagar stuff. You were talking about Van Hagar, which I deny all knowledge of. It's just being an abomination. But his early stuff and Montrose. That's the Hagar. That's what I want to hear. So can't wait.
Exactly. No, they do a good job of all that. So.
But we get to see those guys again this Friday.
Yeah, well, we're going to see him tonight. We're actually, Alan and I are going to meet up with Brian Harris
and a couple of my other friends.
And we're driving down.
There are 5 of us going together.
Yep. Oh, there's 5 in the van now? Okay. And then Bill and his son are going to be driving down to Nashville. And then we're meeting David Cathy over there. He's going to go with us too. And we're all meeting up at the Marathon Music Center to see Ace Frehley this weekend. So we're
Friday night.
Is that his first show back on the road in a while?
Yes,
Because
I believe it is.
It's
Yeah.
the second, isn't it?
I'm not sure.
Phil
I know when I'm supposed to be,
Phil
where I'm
Shoutouts
supposed to be, and that's all I care.
Yeah, I think it's the second show.
Is still he's in Russia right now. They just finished up the Accept. He's playing with Christopher Williams and them doing that symphony deal. So he just actually put on Facebook this morning. He was in Russia in the middle of taking all these pictures and shit. But he's going to be back, and I guess they'll do a second leg of that after they do this deal with. I don't know how they've worked it out, but he's going to be doing both. But he's coming back, and this will be the first show then of this new little round they're doing. So I'm looking forward to it. It'll be pretty good.
Well,
I guess it must be the first night, but I thought they were going to Kentucky.
They are, but it's
on the second. I thought that was a second.
Oh, is it?
All right. Anyway, yeah.
Oh,
well, let's loop this back to KISS, since this is the KISS FAQ guy,
right.
and ask him about how many shows did you see on the first leg of the End of the Road tour, and where were they?
I did 4 on the first leg. Flew up to Vancouver for opening night. I figure if this is the last hurrah, I'd last on an opening night for Psycho Circus, 98 obviously. So my mom used to live in Vancouver in the 60s as a nurse. So I was like, okay, I got a reason to go up there. Didn't get to see any of Vancouver, but saw a heck of a show. And I figured if anything was going to go wrong, it was going to go wrong opening night. And I wanted to kind of see it in case it went horribly wrong and they had to change it all. Unfortunately, from my perspective, it was brilliant. Nothing went wrong, and apparently that's not the case. What we later find out, but absolutely insane. And the Canadians are just so nice to go and see a show with. A couple weeks later, what was it? It was February the 9th. I think that was Sacramento. So that's my home gig. Went up to the new Golden One Center up there, and that was insane. That was, again, nothing really changed for any of my shows. Same set list, same production, and all that. But I was just really into it and enjoying it. A couple weeks later, or a week later, was LA Forum. And I have to thank Mr. Winnie for canceling his Memphis gig, which made me have a airline credit to use. So I had decided I wanted to burn it fast and go to a legendary venue. So I went to the Forum show, and again, it was just sitting outside that thing, looking up, and I'm at the place where they recorded the audience for Alive 2. Just amazing from a kind of geeky perspective. After about 5 Lagunitas beers, it was great show. And then the last one was, where was the last? Oh yeah, I went to New York, Madison Square Garden. While I was sitting outside the Forum, I kind of said, well, I've missed so many shows throughout my KISS life. I'm like, this really sucks. What other legendary forums, venues are still around? And I was like, Detroit, no, that's gone. Midwest, I don't really have a reason to go to anything there. New York.
We're in the Midwest.
Well, you can come see us. And actually, Robert Stadium, which is one of the biggest places they play,
Roberts
it's gone. It's gone.
Oh, is it? So
they tore it down. Yeah. Fuckers.
It's a
big ass field.
Area.
It's a big ass field. But they had to tear it down as fast as they could so they could put this dog park in. And it's a fucking field. It's been a grass field since the day they fucking bulldozed it. Cocksuckers. I hate that place. It fucking people piss me off.
But you guys also have something else called snow. So, I figured New York City.
Not now.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
Well, back in March,
Yeah, that's a chance.
Yeah. So Madison Square Garden, I actually grew up in New York. I had 10 years there from 78 to 88, New York State. And I never got to see KISS there while I lived there. And it was just one of those things that I could finally say I went to New York and saw KISS in their home state. And obviously Madison Square Garden, same reason as the LA Forum. So yeah, I finally got to see David Garibaldi at that one as well. That was the first time I'd seen him after the 4 shows. It was my last opportunity to see him because I did the meet and greet in Vancouver. So we were still backstage while he was doing his thing, and it came out right at the end. Missed him. Then I was hanging with friends at the other 2 and just never got a chance. I'm glad I did because I thoroughly enjoyed him.
It was interesting. I've seen him.
Well, now I'm not going to ask you what you thought of David Garibaldi.
What did I think of him? I thought enough of him to then set up an interview with him. When I had finally seen him, I thought it was something different, something that I enjoyed. He was, it wasn't boring. He was playing music that I liked. He was very creative. He worked the audience while doing his painting bit. Would I have wanted to see him all 4 times? Not necessarily, but at least he changed his art up more than KISS changed their set list.
I was gonna bring that up. Well, not the KISS changing their set list part. That's beating a dead horse. But I did like, the difference between what I saw in Louisville and what I saw in Nashville.
Right.
Yeah, who did he paint for you? I mean, because
In
I seem to
Louisville,
recall
he painted Paul McCartney, Muhammad Ali, and then he did a jockey and a horse for the Kentucky Derby. And
Nice.
then in Nashville, he painted Steven Tyler, Johnny Cash, and then KISS with the American flag in the background.
Johnny Cash, that's badass. I gotta find a
Well,
picture.
the funny thing is, when he was first painting Johnny Cash, at first, from the head up, it kind of looked like Abraham Lincoln, and I'm like, wrong state, dude.
You need to be in Illinois or Indiana for that. But wasn't it the one though when he did Cash? Wasn't it upside down too when he started it out?
Well, when he did Muhammad Ali, that was upside down as well.
Yeah, sometimes he does that
Yeah.
too, but it's upside down where you can't figure it out.
He started Cash out upside down, which I thought that was pretty cool. I can't draw right side up, upside down. Just fucking forget it.
I saw him in Louisville and in Jacksonville. In Jacksonville, he did Mick Jagger, and I didn't see the first one he did. I only saw bits and pieces of Mick Jagger, and then the KISS one was pretty cool. I didn't get to get a photo of it, but I remember it was different than the other ones I'd seen. KISS was really big in the Jacksonville one, and I don't remember.
Right.
Or their 4 heads were really big in the Jacksonville one, but I don't remember exactly how it was laid out. I just remember that being pretty
Kind
stark.
of like in real life.
Yeah. So it was pretty good.
Julian, of the 4 shows you've seen, which one was your favorite?
I'm gonna say Vancouver, because it was the first one. It was all new. They kept a pretty good lid on the production. I know Keith went and did a Facebook Live walkthrough of the stage, so you started to get an idea of how the things were. I'd heard things elsewhere about what the stage was going to be, so I had a decent idea of what it was going to be. But being right there, and my seats were sick for that one. I think I was 4th row, center. So it was a great perspective to be craning up at the stage and just have that big billowing black backdrop blocking your view until it got going. And I thought the audience was pretty good. And all of them, I've felt down on the floor that the audience has gotten into it and seemed to enjoy it. I've had kind of your gamut of antisocial behavior at these, beers getting thrown, drunks singing at a guy going nuts next to me in Sacramento, just banging it into me the whole time. I mean, he was either having a seizure the whole show or dancing, doing a stagger dance, but that was good-natured at least. Had a really obnoxious drunk behind me in New York. He was just yelling political crap the whole time. And I'm like, you're at a KISS show, man. Just what the hell
is that about?
How is that even coming out? There's no conversation going on anywhere that could be riling you up that much to be just going like that. And he wanted a hug at the end too. I'm like, okay, whatever. But I'm old, I think, because it used to be entertaining, and now it's just like, go away.
Fuck. It's annoying as fuck.
And get down off that seat. How dare you stand up in front of me? I mean, on your chair.
Right.
I mean, the kid, it was someone and his kid, and the guy was already 6'5" anyway, and I'm 5'6", so it's like already stuck behind someone who's blocking your view, and then they put their kid, who's my height, on a chair. I'm like, well, maybe I can stand on a chair next to But those few minor negatives aside, again, just each one of these was fantastic. I think Sacramento, I did the Tommy Thayer Explorer guitar experience. So I hope they organize that a little bit better, because I had to leave my seat, second song from last, to go and argue with security to let me up near the fence to get backstage afterwards with no credentials or anything. It's like trying to persuade someone to let you backstage Well, obviously it worked out, but not the most fun experience I've ever had trying to meet up with his tech and get past there. But once I did get past
Did he
the
not give you a pass or anything for that?
nothing, and that's I'm really disappointed in that
Wow.
because I like to collect these laminates from these special events. You know,
Sure.
if you do a Paul guitar on a cruise, you get one that's properly made. But again, I did get backstage and I got to watch the finale of the show from backstage and get abused by Paul's guitar tech, which was hilarious, and have the local finest next to me having sparks come down on them, and they were all bald cops as well who suddenly had burning sensations on their scalps. So it was fun to see the show from that side of the stage actually. So each one of these things kind of add to that experience.
So did you just do that once? Did you just do? I mean, did you just do the VIP experience one time, or did you do it all? How many times did you do it on this tour?
The VIP, just the one.
The one.
Oh God, yeah. I just wanted to get a photo with them with these costumes. Again, I wasn't sure if the costumes were going to stick or what. I did the captain's lounge actually because I pressed the wrong button and didn't realize. I had a few beers, I think, that night. And of course, no refunds, exchanges, or anything. So, but from a reporting point of view, it was fun to kind of just go and see what they were planning to do with the Captain's Lounge version. And that's you go up and basically hang out in a lounge where they DJ, they're playing AC/DC and Guns N' Roses. It's like you were at a KISS show, guys. Get with it. You know, at least put Gene's Vault on. You might sell one. And you get to pose with road cases, and they had a modern photo booth thing, which you could have all these like add-ons to your photo. Weird stuff. I didn't bother doing it because there was beer. So that was, and then I refused to call it a meet and greet because it was over that quick. It was really, they were running behind, and they probably say that anyway to try and rush things as much as possible. But you went in. Eric shouted at me immediately because he recognized me. Like, yo, it's Kissy Leaks guy.
Kissy Leaks. That's awesome.
Julian Assange, how did he get out of the embassy? You know, always and I was just like, hey guys, have a great show, and boom, take a picture, out, hand you your signed lithograph, and out to your seat. So I mean, it's not so much a meet and greet as a
bump and run kind of thing.
Yeah,
Pump and dump.
yeah, completely. But if you do want to get a picture with the band, then you know, I was second in line, I think, for the VIP thing. So the second person to actually see the merchandise, because we had a private shopping experience for that as well. So it was nice because I did want to take photos of the merch and also buy a few things that for the first show, I figured it was worth it. I did put on my reporter's hat, and I think I was sending out tons of streams and photos that night just so that people could see what was going to be sold. Don't get to business expense it, I don't think.
Probably not on that one anyway. Yeah, it was cool because I think you showed pictures of the tour book, right? I think you were posting those so people could see what they look like.
Yeah, that's right. As soon as I got back to the sorry, my phone's ringing.
Okay.
I was at the Captain's Lounge. I immediately took some photos, and then I was getting some PMs from people saying, hey, get the credits page, because they'd contributed to it. So I was able to share those. Then when I got back to the hotel that night, I filmed a flip through that I threw up on YouTube, and so that people could see, because obviously that tour books are still horrendously popular, and people did want to see them. And I thought, you know, all in all, they put together a pretty good one.
So you have the first one. Then do you have the second version?
Yeah, I got the second one in New York for that. So,
what's the difference between the two? Is there much?
I think there's 4 pages that are different. They changed up the actual end of the road pages at the back, and then they switched out a few photos. There were a couple that had been in the wrong place, I think, or they enlarged them, just fixed a couple layout things on a couple of other pages throughout. I have not cut the spine off one to scan it in to do the complete analysis of all the photos in it yet. I think I'll leave that to Ross to figure out.
Exactly. Well, we've still got Bill and I and Alan are still going to Indianapolis in August 31st. We're going to see him in an outdoor situation, a shed. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see. That's the reason why I ended up going to Nashville to take my wife, because she wanted to see it in an arena, just in case the shed, we know how sheds are. They're not going to probably have, I don't know. I think everything on the stage will be probably the same. I don't know about the rest of it. I don't know. I don't know how that's going to work.
That's what's exciting about it.
I know. But so anyway, my wife's not going to go. But I told you Bill. I think I told you that last night, I'm taking Max now. So my son, he's 24. He's never seen a KISS show, so this will be his first and probably last KISS show. So
Bad parenting.
well, no, he just never wanted to go. And
Doesn't matter. It's your duty as a dad to take him.
They haven't come to Evansville for good Lord, how many years too? The fact
they haven't been here since 2000. He's only like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
I have one more question for you, Julian. When we went to the Louisville and the Nashville shows, they had the guy standing out there with the megaphones preaching the hellfire and brimstone. Did you have that at all 4 shows?
No, not that I noticed anyway. I haven't actually experienced that at a show out here.
I think it's more of a southern.
I was getting ready to say that must be a southern states thing.
No, we do get it at Oakland. They are everywhere. I didn't hear any in New York. I think there was a guy with a billboard who was walking around. Just it wasn't really saying much. Maybe someone already punched him. But I don't care anyway.
The guy who was in Nashville was the same guy who was at the Guns N' Roses show that I seen down there too. And basically, he just sits there and tries to get people to starting a shit. And because matter of fact, when we saw the Guns N' Roses show, this lady starts, I guess she was religious, and she was, starting to bounce Bible verses off of him and stuff. And this cop walked up to her and finally said, "Look," he said, "lady, I know what you're trying to do, but he's just trying to get you sparked." He says, "You need to walk away. Just let him do what he needs to do. He has a right to do what he wants to do, but just let him go.
Walk away.
Just smile. I mean, it's like, so what? I mean, it's politics, religion. Just smile. It's a different thing. Some of them are looking to aggravate and antagonize, looking for something. Others are just doing what they do. And again, it never ever bothers me. I just smile and go on to the beer line, or go look at the merch, or just keep talking with the other fans in line, because it's not a big deal. I see it as more entertainment, because it really does. You really think they are going to come out for, if you're going to Wasp, or you're going to KISS or Motley Crue, or any of these bands that were on, what was it, the Dirty Dozen, or the Tipper Gore's hit list in the 80s. They are still the ones, but they show up at everything. They'll show up at an Ariana Grande show, or Taylor. They're looking
just for attention, and they're looking
it's
for
attention.
And
and in the 80s, they got the attention. Paul Stanley used to love to take them to task. He'd go in the local papers and, get quoted on them,
right,
with all these battles. But, end of the day, it was the Peters brothers, used to go in and tape the shows. So, whatever. Life's too damn short.
Exactly.
For sure.
Exactly. So anyway, so where do you think they're going to do a bunch more? Like I said, the second leg. When are they going to start announcing the second leg through the states once they get back from?
Well, the second leg is already announced, because that's
I'm saying
going in the sheds. Or do you mean in?
So that would be
2020.
I take it be the next bunch. When you think they're going to come out?
I think probably late summer, probably around the same time as the last lot came out. I have heard rumors of Japan getting scheduled. I'm not going to get to see them in a shed this time around, I don't think. I've got Oakland coming up.
If you come out to Indy, I'll
Julian,
buy you a
if you
ticket.
come out to the Midwest, you can get a shed, but there's no reason to go to the Midwest, for God's sakes.
$25 a ticket.
I am not going anywhere where there are those nasty little bastard bugs that land on your eyeballs in the summer in the humidity. And so that means
eyeballs.
Those little gnat things, or mosquitoes. I'm not going to the Midwest in the summer.
I lived in Indiana for 53 years, and I haven't got a bug on my eyeball yet.
Okay, well, when I watch the weather out here, when I watch the weather, I see in the summer that most of the Midwest is like purple, which means death by heat.
I'll give you that. It's hotter
I'll tell you what,
around here.
it's gonna be August 31st. It's gonna be hot.
Hotter than
sticky.
hell.
Hotter than hell.
It's gonna be bad. I'm telling you.
Shorts, t-shirts, sweating our balls off, just having a great time.
Meanwhile, in San Francisco, it'll be the same weather that it was in the winter. You know,
How
62,
boring.
62. No, it might get up to 63. I mean, and that's.
But we don't have.
It's just I want to see what they do. I mean, you were talking, Dennis, about how are they going to translate something outrageous as a show, and that's been the big thing of all the shows that we've seen so far. The production is absolutely incredible. The amount of computer generated stuff and all the sequences. How are they going to translate that into value for fans outdoors in the summer? I think we're going to get a good idea this weekend. Is their first show at a festival, and that's the Domination Festival in Mexico. I expect a shorter set, but I think we're going to get an idea of how they're going to handle those sorts of things.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how it's going to work.
And then once they do hit Europe, but again, it's a mix of outdoor festivals, it's indoor festivals, it's smaller venues anyway. So I think we'll get something of an idea at least of how they're going to do things. And I'm hoping, for some changes. I want to see some changes to the sequence of when they do things. I've got to see some songs come in. I mean, haven't done Strutter.
Right.
Haven't done.
That was going to be my question. If you thought there was going to be, any set list changes on the leg in 2020.
I think there needs to be for them to have basically gone through these first 45 dates, and there's basically been one set list change throughout there. They've changed the order around a bunch of times, but Hide Your Heart was in there originally, and then it was out for Calling Dr. Love, which an egregious omission, having nothing from Rock and Roll Over in the set. But they're playing 2 hours and 15, so I don't see them adding anything in addition. I think they need to cycle some out. There's some songs in there.
Like Say Yeah.
Say Yeah. Get rid of that fucking song. Go out of here.
I disagree. I like having something from Tommy and Eric's era there, and it's
disagree.
It's the most anthemic of the lot. I don't see them being able to replace it with Hell or Hallelujah or
Modern Day Delilah.
I just don't see that working. And because it's just so easy, I mean, it's a lazy song because it's easy to get the audience to somewhat participate and say, yeah, they might as well, they already have Psycho Circus, but I would like more stuff from Rock and Roll Over. I would like to see more stuff from the first album, Strutter. I mean, just a couple of songs changed around. I like Cold Gin to be gone. Just doesn't is one of those songs that I'm not particularly a big fan of. When you look at the middle of their set, there's like 3 or 4 10-minute songs in a row with their extended sequences, and I just find that a little bit tedious.
Drop that Who thing that they do.
I've been begging for a decade for it to be dropped, and it's still here. So.
I mean, why are they still fucking playing that? I mean,
because it's an easy way to fill time.
I know.
And Paul Stanley likes it.
And you can throw a goddamn song in there. Take that son of a bitch out. Just out. I don't know. And I'm like, I don't know why they do that. It's just,
it's to give them a rest.
Maybe, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, there seem to be some spots in the set now that there are rests. Eugene stalks off stage. Paul stands and watches. From the side, you can, depending where you are, you get to actually see these guys where they're going and what they're doing during the downtimes. It's really interesting from that perspective. So I get it. They need to have little breathers here and there, but from an audience point of view as well, I guess it's been pretty well paced. I don't know how you guys all feel from the shows that you've seen. But I didn't find any songs where I was saying that's a pee break.
Right. Say yeah. And the solo, I had to go take a piss at the solo. No, but
I don't take pee breaks typically, but if I do, it's during a solo.
But no, Julian, just to back up what you just said, I told these guys, and it's been well known, I hadn't seen a KISS show since the last farewell tour. So I skipped.
Wouldn't that be the first farewell tour?
First farewell, you know what I'm saying. But I hadn't seen one I hadn't seen one since. I hadn't seen any of the shows, and I wasn't really going to go see one. And now I've seen two and going to go see three, and I have been extremely pleased with what I have seen. I mean, and honestly, it was more than I expected. And there are songs I don't like, and there's songs I wish they would play, but all in all, the show is fucking spectacular. The flames, I'll tell you what, those flames that got shooting sideways out of that fucking drum set, that shit, that's worth the price of admission right there. I mean, it is.
I mean, they really should be handing out a bag of marshmallows to those seats on the side, because you're getting all sorts of toasty there. But let me ask each of you, what do you think about Beth and how that's being done? And do you think that's an insult to Peter Criss, or is that a homage to him? And do you like it?
I don't mind that it's in the set list. I think what's kind of corny about it, when I saw him in Louisville, I honestly thought Eric was playing the piano because I was so far up in the nosebleeds I couldn't really tell what his hands were doing. But then when I saw him in Louisville, I was almost sitting on the piano, so it's like, and my wife was sitting there. She's like, "No, he's not playing that piano," because he was using his left hand to play the high notes. I'm like, "No, that's wrong." I'm not a piano player, but I know enough about it to know that he's faking it.
But in Nashville, did he not say at one point, "Give it up for Peter Criss"?
I don't remember hearing that.
Because the dude sitting next to me said, "Did he just think Peter Criss?" And I go, I don't know. I really wasn't paying attention. I mean, I never liked Beth whenever Peter did it. So honestly, I mean, I know why they're doing it, because it's last round, and I don't think it's anything against. I mean, the thing is Eric does a really good job of doing it. I mean, he sings it very well. He's doing his best to pay tribute to Peter. So no, and the thing is, his drum solo. The very beginning of that drum solo is that Peter Criss solo. Is the live one with all the phaser, but then midpoint, it's like, okay, that was Peter.
It's my turn.
This is what Eric could do, and I mean, I like that. I don't, because they're adding, like I said, the stuff from the old shows into the new shows, and I do. Kelly liked, my wife. She loved the fact that they were playing some of the old videos during some of the songs too, which I all in all, I like the show. I think I've seen it twice and loved it.
You're taking the same point of view as I am on that, because I love the drum solo. I'm like, that's alive. That's just a complete. But I didn't say that's a complete ripoff. That's to me paying homage to the band's shared history, which Peter was a part of. And Peter's up on the screen all the time when they have that Winterland footage. And I took the piano as I decided I liked it more than that cornball standing on stage with acoustics, which It was totally cornball, because it took it back to the Paul Lynde kind of Halloween special feel, with the Liberace piano and Eric miming at it like Peter did on the show. It's one way of encompassing all these different elements that have part of that history into one package. And Peter's not there. And would I love him to be doing this tour and be able to do it? Yeah, of course I would. But Eric, I think, does such great honor to that song. And I don't know.
And if you ever listen to Eric talk, I mean, Eric is the biggest fan as we are. So who better to do that than somebody who is a fan of Peter Criss, and respects Peter Criss. He's not there to make a name. He's there to. I think it's great.
Well, I have one more thing I want to interject about.
Sure.
They're doing Beth on their supposed final tour ever. This tour is pulling in a lot of casual fans. What was one of their biggest radio hits? Beth. So many people know that song. The
biggest.
And Paul caters to the casual fan anyway. That's an opportunity to cater to the casual fan, not get a bunch of shit because, the Catman didn't do Beth this time. What the hell?
Yep.
So I mean, unfortunately, as long as Paul is in charge, he's always going to cater to the casual fan. So,
but it's also vindication for Peter that they're doing his song every night, and he wrote it, and he wrote the hit. He co-wrote the hit. So, more power to Peter. That I think he can sit there and smile and know that they're doing his song, just like Vinny can smile that they're doing 3 of his, and Ace can be happy that they're doing Cold Gin and, all those licks that he wrote. So, it sums up all the history of the band. And when they had Hide Your Heart, Bruce and Eric were somewhat represented. I still think Eric needs to be on the video montage a bit more effectively.
I do too.
They need to have a big moment of the Fox just up there, 1950 to 1991, just as a memorial, and maybe do one of Mark St. John later in the show as well, because again, they're talking about all former members. Well, those two guys can't be a part of it, but their music is, and they're doing Heavens on Fire, which of course Mark did play on. So,
and you know why? And instead of having them play that stupid freaking Who interlude, use that time if they need a break to do, like you said, a little montage, a real quick with Eric and with Mark St. John. Use that for a few seconds. It can be done.
Or the medley. Remember the medley they used to do?
Yeah, do a medley. No, you don't even have to sing it. Just do the medley. You need. I mean, yeah.
I'm all about it. So anyway.
Yep.
Cool.
Well, Julian, we appreciate you coming on the show.
Well, Alan, I appreciate you having me on the show.
Now
so
is the time where you pimp all the websites that you would like to pimp.
Oh my gosh, where do we start? Okay, let's just do kissfaq.com. Coming over, message board. It's acquired taste for some, and either you love it or you hate it. Where else? KissEndOfTheRoad.com. That is the tour history. It's everything that I publish in these books is available freely online as well for people who just carry phones and iPads around with them. You can find all that stuff. Well, I'm slowly getting it all back online, but all the touring history can be found there, and working on updating Ace Frehley's and Peter Criss's solo stuff as well.
Cool.
Awesome. All right. Well, folks, as always, visit us on agesofrock.com. Check out our social media and our Stitcher Radio link. And until next week, peace out. Thanks for listening to the Ages of Rock podcast. If you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and most importantly, tell all your friends. Remember, you're never too old to rock. Until the next episode, peace out, folks.